Yo, brother, it's time for us to start talking the real, man. We've been sugarcoating too much. We've got to start calling everything out for what it is.
Welcome to the future, guys. Now, I know you thought you were already in the future because you ride electric unicycles, but no, this is the future, and I'm all in on it. This is actually the future, the wheel of the future from Begode. And thanks, Begode, they gave me this to keep a while back, and it's finally percolated up to an unboxing. I get a lot of wheels in, and this is not the most high performance wheel to explore, but finally it gets its turn. Now, I've purposely avoided, I don't think I've seen a picture. I've probably seen a picture of this on the web, but I really haven't focused on it at all. I know just a couple things about it, so this is going to be a real first impressions unboxing. Now, I have some, I'm going to call it related wheels here from Begode. This is kind of an odd wheel. Begode is making a lot of small wheels, and you know, it's really quite often difficult to understand the reasoning and how they develop different wheels. They have so many small wheels right now. This is a 42 volt wheel. Now, the first 42 volt wheel that Begode made is this, which is a fairly modern wheel, actually. It's the M10 Mini. And actually, love the M10 Mini. I would have loved it a bit more if it had more power. This is a 200 watt hour version, and there is a 100 watt hour version. And it has such low battery capacity. That's kind of why I thought they came out with a 42 volt wheel, right? You know, half of an 84 volt wheel, which has been more common up till recently. But the M10 Mini is a blast, super fun small wheel to twirl around with, but it just does not have much power. When you ride this thing going much more than 5 miles an hour, it starts going like this, and even in hard mode, it just feels like it's not confidence inspiring, and it's not really beginner's wheel. These small wheels, you might think that they're beginner wheels because they're small, but actually, if you put an experienced rider who's never ridden one of these kind of wheels on one of these wheels, they're going to have a tough time. It can be a challenge initially to ride these little wheels. So, you know, this is kind of a wheel for an experienced person to enjoy, yet it needs more power for that experienced person to ride it. And, you know, I think everyone should have an M10 This is my favorite of all the M10s, the M10 5, because even though it's borderline not small enough to be an M10 type wheel, because it's kind of big, but oh man, this thing rides beautifully. Form factor, the build quality, really like the M10 5. And then they have these, before you get into the 18-inch, 20-inch wheels, then they have a bunch of these smaller wheels like the A2, the Falcon, the Future, which is a 42 volt wheel. Yet it's got pretty close to twice the battery of this wheel. So it has a big enough battery that they could have made it an 84 volt wheel for sure. I might have access to the A1, which is, I'm not sure if it's released or it's just about to be released, but it's also a 42 volt wheel. So I don't know what's going on with the 80, why they're focusing on 42 volts. But I'm very interested in the one, I know that this is a 42 volt wheel, and I've also heard through the grapevine that it does not have the power issues of the M10 Mini that it rides more like a typical wheel. I mean, you're not going to be going 40 miles an hour on this wheel, but it's going to ride hopefully feeling much more confident. So we will see. The way I look at it with Begode, it's really hard for me at this point. It's getting very difficult to choose which wheels to recommend to people because there's so many now, particularly from Begode. It's kind of like going into the store to buy some toothpaste. It's kind of nice in a way to have a selection of 50 different toothpastes to pick from, right? So choice is good, and that's the way I look at it with all these wheels. At some point, it's getting to pay. Buy this particular, buy the Future, buy the A1, buy the A2, if it draws you to it, if you like the looks, That's the way I'm looking at it. So I don't expect this wheel to be bad. I think the only reason I would actively kind of dislike this wheel if it rides like the M10 Mini. If it rides more like a normal wheel, then I'm sure it's going to be a fun wheel. So this is the well, I already have one of these because I have this for the M10 Mini, but I love this. You can just carry the charger in your back pocket and charge up the wheel on the go. You can literally just take this wheel, and this is a 375 watt-hour wheel, so it can go places. Carry your charger with you, charge it. Any outlet you can find, you're going to be able to charge with that guy. Might take you a while to charge, but we'll see. So they provided a Allen wrench. We'll see what that's going to be used for, if anything. Might just be they put that in all the wheels now. All right. Here it is, the Future. I'm going to put it on the table, but the vibes I'm getting from this, I'm getting strong M105 vibes, which is weird. I thought this might look a little more like the A2. I don't know. Let's put it up on the table and compare them. Okay, here it is. So this is a mishmash of the M10 Mini and the M105. I'm going to say it's more like the M10 Mini than the M105, but bigger. We're going to weigh them. I'm going to weigh this in the M105 because they feel kind of like they weigh close to the same, even though this has half the battery capacity. But it's a bigger wheel than the M105. At least the motor is bigger. But pads are really nice. Pads are pre-applied, and they are stuck on with double-sided tape, just like the M10 Mini. The M105 has Velcro pre-applied. Being stuck on works great. It's only a pain in the butt if you have to work on the wheel, because then you have to. It's a pain in the butt to take the pads off. But then again, more than likely, you're not going to have to actually work on this wheel. These small wheels, from my experience, unless you abuse them, can last forever. Let's see, the fender, metal fender, like you see on a lot of the wheels now. Again, very, very similar to the M105 and the M10 Mini. Kickstand, works great, very functional. It's got Same kind of handle as the, well, again, very similar to the M10 5 and M10 Mini, but there is no display like there is on the M10 5. The M10 Mini does not have a display. So again, just like the M10 Mini, the charge ports here, just like the M10 Mini, it's this new 42 volt charge, little guy with the power switch, power button, press it, turn on the lights. Lights are nice. They're I have not seen these lights on any other Begode wheel. They might be on the A1, probably not. They seem to go with unique lights on just about every wheel. So they look, well, they look bigger than, I like them better than the M10 5. I don't like that that Cyclops eye on the M10 5. So I like the styling on this. Probably very functional. You press it again, get the flashing lights. I love that Begode is being consistent, and they're putting that flashing safety feature back in on all the wheels. Pedals are very nice. These are, they're not, you're not going to want these on a performance wheel, but again, these are the same pedals that come on the M10 Mini. For what you need for this kind of wheel, I think they're perfectly fine. They're adjustable with tension, and you can adjust the dihedral angle. This is the dihedral angle if you're not familiar. So if you want to set your pedals to be like that, you can do it on this wheel. Or if you, I think though this is as flat as you can get with this. Maybe if you take off this plate, they can get a little bit flatter, but I think that dihedral that comes with the wheel is just fine. Pads feel nice. I did ride it a little bit in the workshop just to make sure it worked. That's why it's a little dirty. But it's a street tire, which again I think is great for this wheel. The back display is halfway between an M10 5 and an M10 Mini. The M10 Mini is, I think it's only a one line, and the M10 5 is probably twice as many LEDs. So halfway there. So for what it is, good, nice. Let me put this on the side. Okay, for you tire nerds, it's a 3.5 inch tire, 8-inch rim. So it's bigger than M10 5 and the M10 Mini, of course, but smaller than the Falcon, the A2 size wheels. I'm not sure about the A1. It's tubeless, which the valve is on the other side of the wheel, but which is nice. Looks like all the wheels are going tubeless now. All the EUCs using tubeless tires, which is fantastic. Not sure about this lime green rim, and when I say I'm not sure, that means I don't think I'm a fan of it, but I know one guy who will like it for sure. The Black Cobra. What do you think, Erwin? Is this a wheel for you? But yeah, street tire, which is I think perfect for me for this kind of a wheel. I know that some you guys would take this wheel and try and go 25 miles per hour on it, but not me. This type wheel, I think probably 15 miles per hour is the max that I will attempt to go on this. High speeds and small wheels just equals risk, danger. Okay, let's weigh this guy. Okay, 35.6 pounds. Now let's weigh M10 5. 44.8. So about 10 pounds lighter than the M10 5. And since I keep talking about the M10 Mini, let's weigh this for completeness. 27.8 pounds, so definitely the lightweight here. Let's look at these two wheels side by side. I'm not sure why I'm particularly comparing this to the M10.5. You could compare it again to the M10 Mini, maybe the A1. I don't have the A1. I don't have the A2, of course. But just thought I'd show you side by side. You can see that this wheel has, it's about 10 pounds lighter than the M10.5. Physically, it's bigger. It definitely feels light when you pick it up. So it's got that going for it. You know, of course, the M10.5 has these fantastic, amazing pedals that they put on the M10.5. I'm not just going to compare everything, but you know, they're very similar. I think. Well, I don't know what this is selling for, but the price point has to be its main selling point. If you want a small wheel, it's got a decent sized tire, not going to go super fast. It's got a battery capacity for some, you know, you're probably going to easily be able to, I don't know if I'm going to do a range test. Maybe I will, but I'm sure this can easily do 10 miles anyway at the speeds that you're going to be riding this wheel. I think what they should have done, it's okay it doesn't have the display to save money, but I really think they should have put a trolley handle on this, because it's big enough that if you take it to the I would want to take this to a store, but when I take it in a store, I have to trolley wheels around in the store. So if I took this to the store, I wouldn't be able to trolley it around. So the only kind of store I could take this to would be a grocery store, where I could put it in the cart, put it under the cart. But I wouldn't be able to take it to other stores, because I don't want to pick it up and lug it around. I think that's the one missed opportunity. They should have thrown the trolley handle on and then added another $30 to the cost of the wheel. All right, guys. Well, that is my first raw impressions of the Future, and I'm impressed for what it is. Totally meets my expectations for build quality. It feels like the M10.5, the M10 Mini. I really like the build quality of those wheels. I didn't poke around to see actually what. It's funny, I'm looking at it. Yep, looks like it's using that same polycarbonate as the framework. Again, like the M10 Mini and the M10.5, which I think is great for this wheel. So yeah, build quality is great. It is, by the way, IP67 rated, so it could stand up to riding in the rain comfortably. I think that's a good thing. So I think the next step is to take it for a ride, and let's see if it performs better than the M10 Mini. Let's hope. So follow me. Okay, it is the next day. I did the unboxing at night, so I thought I'd wait till the daylight to do the first ride. So I haven't ridden it yet, but technically I did ride it in the workshop. I did about 10 seconds worth of idling just to make sure it worked. So before I went to bed, I charged it up. It was at 98%. This wheel probably had left the factory 4 months ago, I'm guessing, so it holds the charge good. And tires pumped up to about 30 psi, which is what I like. Okay, let's see how this guy rides. Okay, so it's doing this, but not in a way that it means it doesn't have the power. The pedals are just dipping a lot. I think what I need to do, which is good for any of you guys, when you get a new wheel, if the pedals are doing anything weird, calibrate the wheel and then ride it again. So I'll be back in a second. It should take, well, actually let me, I'll just do it here. Let's see, I'm going to, I'm connected with EUC World, which does, I'm connected to it as an M10 Mini, another 42 volt wheel. I should be able to calibrate it. Calibration. Start the calibration. Okay. Pedals are level. Oops, I'm gonna turn the power off. Turn it on. Turn it off. Turn it on. And let's see if that did anything favorable. Yes, perfect. So yeah, the pedals were just, when I was turning, the pedals were dipped down, and when I came out of a turn, pedals would pull up. Classic case of where you need a calibration. So you can see how simple it was to do the calibration. Feels great. Definitely does not have a sense of the wobbliness that the M10 Mini has. I mean, when you ride the M10 Mini, it just it just feels like it's got no power. This feels like my my M10s. Plenty of power. Feels really nice. So what's just nice about these little wheels is they're just so fun to do. Little, just riding like this, twirling around. Particularly if you go to a store, where if you have to sit at a crosswalk or wait for a traffic light to switch, you can just do this all day long, and it's kind of fun. Gives the people in the cars something interesting to look at. And yeah, I tell people, yeah, you can do all this on the bigger wheels, but I absolutely believe that it just takes more work. You got to focus the mind more, your body, your muscles are working more. On a wheel like this, any of the M10 wheels, the Falcon rides like this, it's just effortless. My mind, I don't have to put any energy into thinking about it. I just think what I want to do, and the wheel does it. So very peaceful experience. So definitely big thumbs up in terms of improvements in their 42 volt. I wonder if I should look. I haven't since I don't ride the M10 Mini much. I'll check to see if there's a firmware upgrade, because I wonder if whatever they did, it seems to me they should be able to apply that to the M10 Mini, but maybe just because that's got so little battery, they don't want to give you any false sense of ability. All right, let me put on a helmet and we'll go ride the streets for a little bit. Give you some more feel how it rides at a little bit higher speeds. All right, got my helmet on. And let's just take it for a little ride on the neighborhood. Now, actually, I don't have, there's no display in this wheel, so I have no idea how fast I'm going, but that's just perfectly fine with me. Because this just is not the kind of wheel that I'm going to ride fast on. I'll let some of you guys just insist on pushing the limits, no matter what kind of wheel you have. You just have to see how fast you can go, but not me. So this is kind of the pace I'm thinking for this wheel, and I'm probably going somewhere between 10 and 15 miles an hour at max, and feels nice. I'm definitely not getting any of those power related dips from the M10 Mini, so that is that's a good thing. You know, whether I'm going to keep this wheel, to be honest, I don't know. I might find a worthy someone that could make use of a small wheel like this for maybe their kid. That's what I'm thinking. This would be a perfect, really, honestly, a perfect wheel for a child. You got a little kid, that son or daughter that you want to have them be able to ride with you at a pace like this, or to learn on. I think this would probably also be a good wheel, a trainer wheel, because it has enough height on it so it's not painful on the ankles or on your shins for learning purposes. By the way, I'm riding down the street. I'm entering right about here is where I broke my ankle on the A2 that shut off on me, and that was a year and a half ago. And to be honest, I have avoided this street ever since. So this was a milestone, a psychological milestone to get over, because I don't know, never found out what happened to that wheel, why it shut off. It wasn't a cutout, it just turned off, you know. Anyway, I'm not going to go down that whole path or conspiracy theory, but I always wonder what happened. And in my back of my mind, I was thinking, I wonder if there was someone had a real powerful microwave oven on this street or something like that, and that's what caused caused it to shut off. So it's like I've just avoided this street on all my wheels. So okay, I got over that. So as I was saying about giving this wheel away to someone who could make better use of it, because I've got a lot of small wheels, and I don't need a 400 watt hour wheel, and particularly if it had trolley handle. But I actually do, I honest to God, I use these small wheels almost on a daily basis. But I use them to go to the store, grocery shopping. And I just can't. I guess I could take a grocery shopping, but it's still kind of inconvenient, because when I take this kind of a wheel grocery shopping, I'm only picking up a few items that can go in one bag. So I bring the wheel in, I pull up the trolley, I get my items, and I get out of the store and go home, right? If I bring this wheel, I'll have to get a cart, and I'll put it in the cart, and then, you know, get the stuff, get it out of the cart, and you know, life is too short for me at this point to have to deal with stuff like that. So let's see. So we'll do a little backwards here. Yeah, life is just too short to spend any extra time doing stuff that I don't have to do. So for the small wheels, I'm going to require, it's got to have a trolley handle for me to keep it. I can't deal with wheels that don't have trolley handles at this point. Just me. But otherwise, the wheel rides great for this kind of wheel. At these speeds and everything, it feels like the Falcon, my Falcon. It feels like all my M10s. A bit more stable than the smaller M10s because they're much smaller tires. Let's see, get onto this park. The one thing about these small wheels is I do miss suspension. I love suspension, guys. And if you're one of the holdouts that have yet to buy a suspension wheel, you just don't know what you're missing. And maybe that's the point, is you're you don't want to go down that path, because then it's going to just open up a whole new world for you, and you won't want to ride your non-suspension wheels anymore. You know, I don't know. So you go to a little Dennis the Menace Park, City of Downey, where I live. Let's go up on the sidewalk, but just kind of tootling around. That's what these wheels are just. They really are perfect for this kind of stuff. Really, if you do not have an M10 class wheel, you really deserve to get yourself one, because they're just so fun. And again, you could really get any of these wheels. Personally, I would recommend the M10.5. I just love how that wheel rides. But you know, the M10.5 does cost a lot more money than this wheel. It's a heavier wheel, right? So there's all kinds of trade-offs. This wheel, probably based on how light it is and the size, probably really is good for a young child, someone you'd want to introduce to riding. And with the pads that come on it, it could take a beating. I don't think I have much negative to say. It's take it off-road, if you can call this off-road. Up a little hill. Didn't cut off on me. I used to do all this kind of riding when I was learning back, you know, almost 9 years ago now. I would do this. I would go all over the place. I'd go on little hills and go on the grass. Yeah, I should do this more. I'm going down the hill. The only danger you have to look out for when you're riding in grass is divots. There can be, and they can be hidden by the grass, right? Like animal holes, all kinds of stuff. And depending on the wheel you are riding, that can kick you off. Let's go off a little curb here. But no power issues. Yeah, so this is, I don't have my boots on so the pads aren't gripping my feet very well, so I can't try jumping up. Hold the lift button, press it again, engaged. There we go. All right, guys, well, I guess that's it. I think I've addressed, I'm not going to do a range test on this wheel. I'm just not, I'm not going to, yeah, I don't want to spend the time. I can tell you, just based on the battery capacity, and let me tell you right now, if you ride in the same manner, you get about the same distance per watt-hour of battery capacity from my experience. That's whether you're riding a 67 volt wheel or a 168 volt wheel. From my experience, they're all pretty close. So based on this wheel capacity at the speeds that I would expect people to be riding this wheel, it's going to be maybe 10 miles. And I don't think you'd probably want to ride this wheel for 10 miles anyway. Again, it's a last mile wheel, errand wheel maybe. So I think the battery capacity is fine. All right, I think I will leave you with that. Thumbs up on the wheel. Given the constraints, I really don't have anything bad to say. Well, yeah, the one thing I have bad to say about it is it should have had a trolley handle. Other than that, it's a great wheel. All right, guys, I hope you found this video useful, entertaining, or whatnot. And until next time, safe riding.